Iran, the same Iran we now associate with headscarves, morality police, and strict religious laws. It's the 1970s, Tehran. Women walked the streets without hijabs. They wore skirts, went to work, studied in universities. There were open beaches, movie theaters, nightclubs, Western fashion, and alcohol, all completely legal. Back then, Iran was one of the most Western-oriented countries in the Middle East. The Shah, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, was modernizing the country, building schools, hospitals, highways. Foreign tourists flew to Iran for vacation, and Iranian women were becoming ministers, doctors, even pilots, before it was mainstream in much of Europe. Iranian women gained the right to vote in 1963, earlier than in some European countries. Iran had one of the best healthcare systems in the region. Tehran was booming. Skyscrapers, metro lines, modern highways, blending Persian tradition with modern design, shopping malls, Western brands, luxury boutiques. Iran had a vibrant film industry with local stars and Hollywood blockbusters in theaters. Iran was seen as a U.S. ally, often compared to Turkey or even Italy in terms of openness. But in 1979, everything changed. You probably won't believe this.
Like I said, I got some mixed feelings about the strike against Iran. Don't get me wrong, I didn't want them having missiles, especially nukes. Having regular missiles is kind of like, I don't trust them, but with nukes, no. I'm sorry. Iran having nukes? No. 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 Now, in terms of Israel running for a strike, I'm not that surprised because the hate between Israel and Iran goes on many, Lord knows how many centuries and all that. But there's one thing I noticed, though. While people here in the United States screaming like, don't you dare try to start war in Iran. Number one, did a former president did start a war, and we got involved in 2 wars, in fact, in the early 2000s? Yeah, I remember that, unfortunately. There's only one group I noticed who was pulling for either the United States or Israel to do something about the Islamic government. And that's the actual citizens of Iran. The video you just saw explains what life was like for Iran before the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And I remember the Shah of Iran. If I heard correctly, though, like, him and the United States were allies. They were actually, they helped each other. And life in Iran was way different than it is right now. Right now, the first picture I see is a woman dressed like it's not like a super revealing bikini, but it's a bikini. If she's dressed like that right now, she'd be taken to the back and executed. In fact, if you show too much hair, you get beaten and executed. So my point is, to all the women here in the United States, people, the women in the West, especially in the United States, those who scream at top of lungs, I'm being oppressed, you need to sit down, shut your mouths, and talk to the women who've been in Iran since the 1970s, and they would tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you don't have a clue what oppression is. You don't have a clue. These same women will look in the eye, spit you in the face, and walk away because they knew they survived the most violent, brutal oppression. Like I said, women here think they're oppressed. Why? Because someone told you you're oppressed? No. Talk to the women that came from the Middle East, especially from places like Iran. They will tell you the true meaning of oppression. So you better start doing your research, ladies. Stop listening to these people. Do your research. Then you can open your mouths. Until then, don't say another word. Just don't. Don't.